should come out to meet him but his daughter, dancing to the sound of tambourines? She was an only child. Except for her, he had neither son nor daughter. When he saw her, he tore his clothes and cried, "Oh, my daughter, you have made me very miserable and wretched, because I have made a vow to the Lord that I cannot break." "My father," she replied, "you have given your word to the Lord. Do to me just as you promised. Now that the Lord has avenged you of your enemies, the Ammonites, but grant me this one request," she said. "Give me 2 months to roam the hills and weep with my friends, because I will never marry." "You may go," he said. And he let her go for 2 months. She and the girls went into the hills and wept because she would never marry. After the 2 months, she returned to her father, and he did to her what he had vowed, and she was a virgin. Scripture as it is written. Can't go through all of this. Our time is different from today than it will be in coming weeks. Coming weeks, you will spend the book when you get into your groups. You won't need to send around a sign-in sheet of introductions. You will dive right into some questions that will be prepared for you to chew on within your group for a half hour. Sister Braxton and I will come and bring reflections, 10 to 12-minute reflections apiece. I will focus on these scriptures from the man's perspective. I haven't been a woman a single day in my life. And as we see in families, you can have a single issue and there will be very different perspectives. I can only look through the lenses of my existential experience. Sister Braxton will come and look at it from a female's perspective, a mother's perspective, a wife's perspective, a daughter's perspective, a sister's perspective. I'm looking at it from a father's perspective, a son's perspective, a brother's perspective. That's the only perspective that I have. So today, for just to highlight a few things, old saying says, it doesn't matter what a man is driving, what's driving a man. A lot of men are doing well for themselves, and they're able to drive some nice things, and yet bad things are happening even though you can access nice things, because in spite of what you're driving is going on in your life is being determined by what's driving you. And what was driving Joshua was insecurity. Proverbs 23 ridiculous because God doesn't need anything from us, but it is human nature. We try to manipulate even God with religious things. Lord, I'll preach your gospel. There's so many people who weren't called to preach, but God got them out of something, and they threw that on the table as a negotiating tool. So his hasty vow was how he tried to manipulate God in the moment, because he didn't trust God, so he tried to manipulate God with religious things, and it put his daughter in harm's way. And the thing about it, in the culture, as Essex said, it was customary for people to make these kinds of vows, but it still led to death. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. There are things in our culture that seem quite legitimate or common, but have you ever checked out the results of it? Even though a lot of people do it, if it leads to the sacrifice of your children and the ruin of your relationships, even though it is normative in the culture, if the fruit of it is still death, it's something we need to rethink. Even if everybody in your location works those kind of hours, if it still leads to a lot of money and unhealthy relationships, you need to rethink it. And so today, jobless insecurity led to a hasty vow. Today, what does it cause us to do? Job-home imbalance. What do you mean by imbalance? Too much time at work, not enough time at home. Maybe I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for the kids. They simply want you there when they do their dance recital or at their ball game. You're gaining the world, you're losing your family, men or women. It manifests itself as pretentiousness. Pretentiousness in the form of coveting status symbols. When you are insecure, you want to reflect on the outside, but you don't feel on the inside. So we compensate. Too much emphasis on cars. You need a car to get you from point A to point B. You can get a Honda and pay $300 to $400 a month. Why did you go out and get the BMW or the Mercedes that's $1,200 a month, and yet you don't have any money in savings for when your kids go to college? That's $800 a month that you could be putting in college. Multiply himself God highly exalted. Once you empty and dump that old stuff, then God can pour in you some kingdom stuff. But the two can't coexist. Can't serve two masters. You'll come to church, but after the benediction, you're going to follow that old master. You got to empty yourself. And then Romans 12 says, be not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You got to renew your mind. You need a new mindset. We behave according to our mindset. Boy, at Lincoln High School got killed last night by another kid who ran a football team right after the game. Got shot by another kid because of their mindset. I'll shoot you if you diss me. That's a mindset. You got to dump that mindset. What are the strategies for developing, for changing your mind? I mean, literally changing the way you think. One, focused prayer. You receive not because you pray amiss. Focused prayer. You got to pray about your issues. Not now I lay me down the street, sleep. It's Lord, I have a problem with my anger. Lord, help me with my anger. Put it on the table. Being constant in treatment of God where the problems are. You know what it is. Constructive self-talk. Louis Armstrong said, I say to myself, what a wonderful world. What do you say to yourself? What do you say? It's okay, I deserve this car. She shouldn't have got in my face. Or do you say to yourself, I don't have the right to lose my composure. I don't have the right to talk to people that way. It's not all about me. My family comes first. You got to talk to yourself. Have you ever talked yourself into something crazy? Oh, I'm going to kill this fool. Oh, he ain't going to talk to me like that. Well, she must be crazy. Come on now. We will talk ourselves into going to fight with somebody. You ever sat across from yourself? Oh, shucks. Oh, I know I'm going to roll up on that. Oh, yeah. You sitting there talking to yourself. You talk yourself right into an illicit relationship. You got to do some constructive self-talk. Then you got to have an accountability partner because men keep secrets far more than women. Women keep diaries, men keep secrets. We don't tell nobody. You got to have an accountability partner who knows what your issues are, who will call you up and say, hey man, you doing right? Somebody who knows when you lie and say, yeah, man, I'm okay, yeah, right. I can hear it in your voice, hey bro. You need somebody behind the veil, behind the wizard's pretense, who knows what you struggle with, who can call you on it. Every man's got to have a prayer accountability partner who knows his stuff and still loves him. But we'll get in his face. Counseling. You need counseling. Men don't like going to counseling, and so we're tearing up our families. You got to go to counseling. I'm a pastor of the church. I got 300 degrees, and I've been in counseling more than once because I was committed to being a better person. What's the point of being a good preacher if you're a horrible person? Huh? And then finally, constant self-assessment. Looking at myself. Standing back, do I like what I see? Not assessing you. Because assessing Brother Haley is not going to help Chris and Sam or Shelia, but assessing me. Constant self-assessment. Now I look at myself 5 years ago. But right here, right now, in the fall of 2013. What's driving a man? You got to change our minds. These are some practical strategies. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Just practice.
What is family? Essex states that the family is the most basic and elementary social unit in most cultures. Families are constantly changing, noting that there are both internal and external factors which affect the ways in which families are shaped and how they interact amongst themselves. How do you define family? How is that tapestry of your family woven together? How do you define family? Deacon Barber. Okay. She says blood sometimes. How about others? Relationships. How about others? Love. Some say inside the house, outside the house. So nuclear as well as extended, right? So as we are reading over the next couple of weeks, we'll see some different definitions and examples of family. So I asked the question, how is the tapestry of your family woven together? Is it picture perfect, pristine, perfect, it's smooth, it doesn't show any wear and tear? Or is your family more like a quilt that has been handed down by generation and generation? When you look at those varied colors and shapes and sizes, they kind of look like, when you first look at it, don't look like it goes together. But when you actually step up on it and you see all of the detail and the love and the care that it took to put this quilt together, and it's been handed down by generation and generation, you see that all of that intricate detailing with the stitching is what holds that family together, that quilt together. Is your family like a quilt? Over the next several weeks, we're going to take a look at complex lives and challenges that faces some of our biblical families. As in many biblical stories, most of the attention is placed on the man in the story. Okay? Essex actually talks about this in the book. And therefore, there may be a female mentioned in the story, but oftentimes she may not be named. Okay? So my challenge to us over the next couple of weeks is that if you're male or female, doesn't matter, I'm going to challenge that you would seek out that unheard voice in the family. You have a what? You have a what? I cannot hear you. You have a voice. We also want to challenge you to seek out the unseen that is ever present but is unnamed. You are what? I cannot hear you. I cannot see you. I cannot hear you. I cannot see you. I also will challenge you to look at the unnamed, or to look at the named but the devalued individual in service. I cannot hear you. I cannot see you. I do not respect you. I cannot hear you. I cannot see you. I do not respect you. I cannot hear you. I do not see you. I do not respect you because I don't hear you. I do not hear you. I cannot see you. I do not respect you. Over the next several weeks, hopefully those voices will be stronger. Today we're exploring parental authority. Pastor has gone over the story as it relates to Jephthah. We also know of the story of the man with two sons. Familiar biblical stories. The one thing that stood out to me as I read the stories and studied the stories was there was a missing voice. Whose voice was missing? I cannot hear you. The mother, the one who carried this child, these children, 9 months, the one who labored to birth this child, these children, the one who nurtured this child, these children. But yet, when challenge met her family, she was unheard, not seen, not shared in the story. Therefore, her voice, her opinion, is not valid. And oftentimes, those things still happen today. I know that we will say that, what are you talking about, Sister Shelia? Women today, they have power, they have position. Look at Michelle Obama, look at Hillary Clinton, look at the Williams sisters, look at Rachel Maddow. They are just on the TV waves and the radio and all of these different things. These are women of power, of prominence, of position. What are you talking about? They've got a voice. True. But there also are people and women and children and individuals in our you have to do is turn on the television and listen to the news, because we have people, elected officials, that will be talking about how they have an opinion and talk about the situations as it relates to rape, whether it's rape or not rape, matters of women's rights to choose. Now, they're men talking about women's rights of what to do with their body, right? Healthcare issues, education and employment, just to name a few. And even though all of us in this room, we have a voice, oftentimes when we're faced with situations in our life, we don't take advantage of that voice. And so I want to encourage us to understand that when we're faced with situations of challenge in our life, ladies, I want us to embrace these things. Your presence is important and essential. You have to speak if you want to be heard, and your voice brings a different perspective. Just those three things. Your presence is important and essential, even though neither of these mothers were mentioned in the story. Their presence was still important and essential. We don't have an opportunity, we don't know if Miss Jephthah or if the wife of the father with the two sons had an opportunity to come and talk with their husbands, but we know that their presence was important and essential as it related to what was going on. And our hope is that as women in your family, you will stand firm knowing that your presence is important. So when situations are going on in the family, we can respect our husbands, but we also have to be able to step into that role where we're speaking up and bringing that other perspective as it relates to the situation. So we're not just kind of cowardly back, not having anything to say. And then when things go this way, we pick up the phone and we call our girls. Okay, it's gonna be quiet, that's all right. Y'all know you pick up the phone and you call your girls because you didn't say to him your opinion. You didn't speak it to him, but you over here talking to your girl about what's going on. You all upset, but you should have spoken in the family meeting. You should have spoken to your husband in y'all's private time of what your opinion and things are. Those things are important because oftentimes in these stories, we see that the women are taking this back seat. And our challenge today is, even as women, we may be CEOs, we may be nurses, doctors, lawyers, what have you. The same type of forefront thinking, forefront walking and talking that we do in our professions, we need to make sure that we have those same qualities at home and don't step back and cower out to them. And then be upset when things don't go the way we feel that it should, or that we're not, I'll leave it at that. Things aren't going the way that we feel that it should, but it's because we didn't stand in that role, that sacred role of as mother and as wife. We must remember as we go through this story the importance of our presence and the importance to know that if we want to be heard, we must speak. And know that in our speaking, we bring forth a different perspective that may be able to shed light on a situation. They always say what? There's always two sides to a coin, right? And so our perspective is that other side of the coin as we're making decisions for our family and on behalf of our family. That is our challenge over the next couple of weeks, speaking to the ladies. Gentlemen, you then have to provide space for this to happen. It just isn't going to happen naturally. You have to provide that space for that to happen. So when she comes to speak and to talk about things, you don't have to give the look like, okay, you got 5 seconds because it's like commercial time. Okay? There has to be that space for that type of conversation to happen. And I believe over the next several weeks, we will have that opportunity to explore